Good morning, good morning, good morning. On my screen it says you are alive, so that means you're alive. I'm alive. We're all alive. I bet Judy's alive. She's on the line too. We got Judy Cook today. Pathway to Wealth. We want to welcome her to talk. I've been excited about inviting Judy on and speaking with her because uh, years ago, boy, it's dating myself now, long, long time ago. Uh, she taught me the real estate game. And the one of the things that I like about Judy is she's in the trenches every day, but she teaches it too at the same time. So let me bring her on right now. Judy, this is Miss Judy Cook.
Hi.
Hi, Judy.
Hi. Good
Uh,
morning.
I got you. I just want to make sure I got name and number there and everything. So this is mostly about you. I just happen to be here asking questions today. So uh, we've been doing this for people that are in because of where they're focused. We're trying to get their focus off the fear, back on their freedom and on their fun. Talk about businesses that are still out there helping and serving people. And I was really excited about getting you to come on because I know that there's so many people out there right now who just happen to not have a job for some reason or another. They don't have a job. And you have something that anybody can learn to do that's really great. I mean, it's amazing. Judy, I want to thank you. The one thing I love about you is you not only do the work, but you teach people how to do it too. So there's a lot of people out there that teach, but they don't do the work at the same time. And you were talking about what you wanted to talk about today, and I thought, well, this is good because this is good for anybody out there who's working or not working, because you wanted to talk about some of the things they could do with saving their retirement money or money that they have saved up or money that they got from an annuity or whatever. Uh, you were wanting to talk a little bit about that, so I'm going to just let you talk for right now. Go.
Okay, there's plenty of you guys out there that have money that you can't spend, and that's in your IRA. And you can put it in an IRA where it's truly self directed. That means you get to pick. Now, there's some limitations. I think you can't invest in liquor because that could be drank up. And there are a few other things, but real estate is definitely one of those things where you can invest in. Now, to be safe, I usually suggest you don't lend any more than 70% of after repair value of the property and that you get comparables. You know what the CMA is? That's market analysis for you guys. Don't speak real estate just yet. You need three of those and then kind of average them out and go, okay, once you get that property fixed, you could sell it for this. And then you only lend out 70%. Now, to be safe, you don't lend that all out at once.
I want.
You
I want to.
lend
I want
out
to mention.
what it costs to purchase, and then they send photos of what they've gotten done. You send out a little bit more money, a little bit more work gets done, and all of a sudden, you're invested 70% of what the property is valued. I like 6 months. Some places you might want to go 8 or 10. You're not going to get a credit report. You don't ask for it, and they're not going to give it to you, but you're going to focus on the property. So if they make a mistake, they lose the property to you. And like in Texas, it's only 42 days. So that's real quick. You can have it written into your promissory note because this is an investment. It's not the house they live in to make it 42. So 42 days later, you could own the property and then you can resell it. And the person who called you probably has friends, other investors. Maybe they've gotten it finished, maybe not. And you don't really care because you're still at a real good ratio. Sell it quick, take your money, reinvest it. I'm going to tell you
So I want
that
to ask a question, Judy.
uh-huh.
You can teach people how to do this and there are a
Yes,
lot of people that you do this for as well,
right.
correct?
Uh-huh.
So there's all kinds of ways that a person can be involved. They can be involved passively. They can be
Right.
involved actively. They can
And
be
a lot
learned.
of doctors and lawyers make a big income and they would love to do some real estate. They just don't have the time. But they can use their IRA to make more money. And if the stock market goes down like it just did, they don't care because the money's not in the stock market anymore. And mutuals just don't pay enough. Now, I'm not saying you take all your money and invest it in real estate, but there's a certain portion, and that portion will outperform everything else in your portfolio. Even when we have a downturn, it'll still do real well.
Because there's with real estate, there's so many different hooks, so many different leverage points, which is
Sure.
a lot different than just a stock. There's so
Right.
many different ways. I mean, we were talking about telling people about what you do, and what you do. It's a whole new ball game because you teach people how to become wealthy just using real estate or other people's money and things of that
Sure.
nature, and showing people to do those things. That there's everything from learning to just wholesale as one area. Then you've got uh, rehab, which is fix and then flip. That's another area. Then you got flip and buy and hold. You've got apartments. You've got all kind of different things.
Well, and you've
That
got lending
you've got lending on this side that we're talking about a little
because
bit today.
let's say you want to flip a house, your credit shot. That's why you're doing this. And your credit may be shot because you lost your job and you couldn't pay some bills. Well, guess what? You can use other people's money. You're going to pay a little more interest rate, but I can prove to you you don't have an appraisal up front. You don't have a credit report to pay for. You don't have closing costs to pay for. And the high interest rate for a short period of time is almost equivalent to going to the bank if the bank would give you money for it. Banks don't like lending on properties that we buy to rehab because they've got problems. And if there's no problem, there's no profit. So, but you can use this hard money or personal money all day long. And there's no limit to how much you can borrow. You can have 5 houses go into the same time and 5 different lenders. They don't care. And it's a great way for the lenders to make money when they don't understand real estate. When I uh, find brokers or people who want to lend their money out, there's a form I sent out to the guy who wants to borrow it. And I want photos on the inside and the outside. I want 3 properties in that area, in that particular subdivision, if possible, that have sold in the last 3 months. And I want to average what those are. I want to know what the title report says. So I want a copy of it. I want a copy of the earnest money contract. And then we analyze that. If it works, it works. Nobody lends money until they put their eyes on the property. So I'm not going to have somebody from Utah finance a house in Dallas. That doesn't make sense. But if they can drive over to the property, look at it, look at the neighborhood and go, oh yeah, then they're in good shape. And nobody should ever lend on a property they haven't seen or don't understand. Just pass and wait
Well,
till another one comes up.
that's like people in the market. They'll buy stuff. They don't know what they're buying. They just somebody told me they should get it. That's what
Right,
I like about that's what I like about real estate is it's actually something tangible that you can actually have possession of. You
right,
know, because it's all in your. You can build it in be in your name. Someone can do all the work, and you just make the return.
right.
And
I
that's
know
one.
3 men who went together and it was a dairy in Oklahoma. Some of you
Okay.
don't know, but in Oklahoma, it takes 3 years to foreclose. This guy took the money. He moved. He moved his dairy cattle. He didn't pay the loan back. And in 3 years, he had moved the house that was sitting in the middle of this dairy farm. And the guys lost their money. This is not how we do it. They sign a piece of paper that says you can foreclose quickly, whatever you choose.
So this keeps people money safe.
Yes, very safe. And rich people do it all day long.
And so that you're about to do a training in on this, correct? And so uh, we've got your name and your phone number and your website right here, and
Thank
people
you.
can contact you and find out more about that. We'll be talking more about that because we have some ways to get that in front of the right people, because there's all kind of different things. I mean, the nice thing that I'll have to tell this story about Judy because it's pretty cool. I came to town. This was years ago. There were only 2 real estate investment clubs in the whole city, and Judy was part of the very first one. And she taught me how to sell a house that hadn't been sold for over a year, on the market or off the market. So I went into the Rich Club and I made an announcement. I said, anyone here have a piece of property that's ready for sale? You've had it on the market for a year and it hasn't sold, or with a realtor and it hasn't sold, come see me. We'll sell it for you at the price you want within 30 days. And we sold every single house that came to us that way, basically because Judy teaches you how to think outside the box and make things happen in the investment business. So, Judy, I mean, and then I want to know, I pulled back out of the real estate business and on the national speaking circuit, going around the country, and all the time I'm still thinking I got to get some deals. I got to get some deals because real estate is a great way to build wealth. And doing what we're talking about here, you don't have to be an expert. We've got people that can walk you through it. It's cookie cutter. We've done it time and time again. Judy knows exactly what to do, how to teach you, how to train it, let you be as hands-on as you want or hands-off as you want. Is that pretty much correct, Judy?
That's right. And if you've got money to invest, no matter how you got it, it could be in your IRA, it could be in your bank account, we can invest it securely. And that's the big thing, at a high interest rate.
And that's good because
And
you
you
can't
don't
get
have
anything.
to understand real estate in its totality. A
You
lot
don't
of
have to
people
understand.
think, well, I need to know a little more. You don't.
Well, Judy can teach you. You can give them some more. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
you can teach them all. You can show them what happens with the stock, what happens at the bank, what happens with with the money. When they see the difference in what happens with the money in all those 3 different locations, they go, "Why didn't they teach me this in school?" And because it makes you independent, and I don't know that that's what they want you when you go to school. So,
But we're
but
lucky we live in America.
right. So, and that's the beauty. So, Judy, I thank you for coming on today. Anyone that wants to learn anything about the real estate investment business, whether you want to learn from the very beginning, uh, Judy teaches a full course on it. She specializes in different things. I mean, she could do a class in foreclosures, just foreclosures. That could be a weekend class. She's very good at that. She's helping people who have money make their money work for them safely and securely. And if you want to learn how to be a real estate investor, Judy Cook, pathwaytowealth.org. So, folks, we thank you for coming on today. We've got Judy's information here. We will get this out. So, Judy, we didn't really get to talk. I wanted to ask how your family's doing. How's things going?
Doing fine.
And all this weirdness that's going on. How are they handling everything?
Everybody's healthy. Nobody. My daughter and her guy think they've had the coronavirus, but the testing hasn't always been accurate and they didn't bother, but they think they
Right.
had it.
Okay.
A lot of
But everybody's
people who are healthy just think they had the flu.
right. So as far as you go, everything. So how are you still? I know you're still looking at property, still making deals. How are you doing that different now?
I am. I'm looking at a vacant house is full of junk, and the car that's in the driveway is also full of junk. I talked to the neighbors, and they said, "Oh, her brother lives 3 blocks away." So I went over and talked to the brother, and he said, "Yeah, something needs to happen to that house." And I said, "Yeah, the yard's getting pretty raunchy, and the house looks like it needs a little help." So he's on my team. I'll call her in the next 2 hours and see if she wants to sell it. And I'm pretty sure she will. It's not listed. I haven't bought a house that's been listed this year or last year, even.
Right. And you can teach people how to do all of that. That's the
Right.
beauty of it.
Yeah.
Anything. I mean, uh, it's this is totally different than getting a real estate license. It's a total different
Well,
mentality.
having your real estate license is not the best thing to do, because if you buy a house, your broker is going to want a piece of it.
Right.
And why give up a piece just because you have a piece of paper?
That's right. There's the back in the day, there were less real estate investors in the game. Now, a lot of real estate agents are in the investor game. Back in the day, they were almost two separate individuals. Now the lines have started to blur a little bit more.
Right.
Uh,
And a lot of people don't know that you can get into real estate investing without being a broker. They think that if they go get their license, that gives them an edge. It
right,
only teaches them how to fill out the form. I used to teach
right,
that class. I know what's in it. For the brokers, guess what? They only learn how to set up their escrow accounts and do accounting. They don't really understand what we do. And for the
right,
house buyer who's going to buy it for a home, it's okay. I mean, they know how to sell houses. But for
right.
an investor who's going to make a lot of money, it's probably wasted time to go get a real estate license.
So it doesn't, whether you have it or you don't have it, it doesn't matter. You can help them
Yeah.
and train them, and
And
that's what's
eventually
important.
you can teach that class without ever being licensed. Most states don't really care.
Right.
Is that
They just
crazy?
want it done right.
Right.
Well, everybody's got their hand in the pie and they want to get taken care of. So what we want to
Sure.
make sure is that everybody gets taken care of the way they're supposed to. And the reason I wanted to talk is we both know that there's a lot of people out there who have funds that they'd like to have working for them, but they're afraid of the stock market and
Right.
they don't know about these other ways that could be real useful for them. So, Judy, I want to thank you for today. I guess the dog says it's time for her to go too. So, everybody, we're going to go. We'll talk to you next time on We Deliver Houston. Today was Miss Judy Cook with Pathway to Wealth, and we'll talk later. Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you.